So today we're going to talk about fluid retention and 7 of the most powerful herbal diuretics. A diuretic is something that will release fluid from your body. There are synthetic chemical diuretics and then there are also natural diuretics. But probably the most common cause of fluid retention is the high levels of glucose in your diet. So I don't know if you knew this, but for every gram of glucose, it's going to retain 2.7 grams of water. So you're going to be waterlogged if you're consuming too many carbohydrates. And I see it all the time. I'll be, at some event or something, and I can just see the person's eyes are all swollen or their feet are all puffy and filled with fluid, and they're usually consuming a lot of carbs. It's such an easy problem to solve. And then if you actually consume enough foods with potassium, as in vegetables, a person typically will not be retaining fluid. An average person in the US is consuming way too much sodium and not enough potassium, and they're just waterlogged. So the first thing we're going to talk about is dandelion. Okay, it's a weed that grows in your backyard, and it is super healthy for your liver. And the potency of the diuretic chemical in dandelion is concentrated in the greens, not necessarily the root. So I would recommend putting it on your salad. You can get it from the health food store or just go in your backyard. Dandelion greens are very, very, very high in potassium, which also helps push the fluid out. But dandelion greens help you at many different levels. The next herb is Yuba ursi, and this acts directly on the kidney to help push fluid out. It's also really good for UTIs. It's been approved in Germany for bladder infections. Now, horsetail, typically people think of horsetail as something that is good for your nails and your hair because it's loaded with silica, and it is. And it's also good to detoxify aluminum. But horsetail also has certain properties to push fluid out of the body. The only challenge with horsetail is it will tend to deplete vitamin B1. So if you're taking some formula with horsetail, just make sure you put the B complex back in there or nutritional yeast. Horsetail is also really good for children who have bedwetting. Next one is garlic. Garlic is a potent diuretic. It's also a very powerful antimicrobial, antifungal, anti-yeast, anti-candida, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it has anti-cancer properties. Next one is black tea. Black tea gets rid of excess sodium. It releases sodium from the body, but not potassium. So therefore you can have the right ratios. It will inhibit a hormone from the adrenal glands called aldosterone. This hormone mainly functions to retain sodium. So if you reduce aldosterone, you're not going to retain sodium as much. So you're going to get rid of fluid. Parsley. Parsley is really good for blood pressure. It also inhibits the release of potassium. So it will help retain potassium. And in Germany, parsley is approved as an official diuretic. And the last one is stingy nettle root. If you're going to get this, make sure you get the root portion, okay, not necessarily the leaves. But this one is very powerful as an anti-inflammatory, but it will get rid of excess fluid. And some men take it for enlarged prostate, so it can help with that as well. All right, guys, so there's a summary of the 7 herbal diuretics. So if you want more knowledge on how to create a healthy body, subscribe now and get daily notifications.